Iyak ka siya. Hindi pa ako naka-move on. Hindi pa ako naka-move on sa sinabi ni Sir Ronald Llamas kahapon. Yung Rottweiler. Sorry for the German accent. Yung pagkagat niya, ayun ang bumitaw. Grabe naman talaga si Sir Ronald Llamas. Grabe guys. Ito na guys. Welcome back to this latest episode ng Booyaka siya. Deep dive. O guys social lang yung deep dive natin. Kanina lang, no less than the world's leading publication on foreign affairs, ay nag-reach out sa atin at nagtatanong, diba, about yung mga podcast natin. So, yan, medyo feeling natin talagang totoo na medyo global tayo. Global na talaga tayo. Talaga tayo. Bakit naging konyo? Uh, By the way, just want to say super thank you, shout out sa mga Filipino community dito sa Winnipeg. Some of them we got a chance to meet and actually have some sort of proper conversation kasi may talk tayo in one of the great universities dito. So we had some very interesting discussion about issues like healthcare. Marami kasi mga nurses na pumupunta dito. So ang tanong, so ano naman mangyayari sa Pilipinas at healthcare system natin? So it's about creation of mutuality. Pinag-usapan natin agriculture. As you know, Canada is of course an agriculture superpower. So, diniscuss namin issues like, hindi naman into the weeds now about fertilizers or about, but basically, I was suggesting maybe Canada can help the Philippines with food security and also transition siguro away from, kasi yung rice, alam niyo na guys, diba? Check niyo yung work by the great anthropologist, yung kaibigan natin si Dr. Gideon Lasco. Na actually, yung rice ay naging staple food lang natin dahil sa policy niya ng gobyerno, especially in 1960s onwards with the Green Revolution. So maybe Canada can help us with transitioning into not only greater food security but also in terms of grain security. And alam niyo naman sa mga grains, some grains are healthier than other or less, physiological and ecologically, uh, you know, let's just say, tricky, to put it mildly. Alam ko naman lahat naman tayo team rice dito, but alam naman natin guys, talaga mahirap pa pumayat pag naka-rice ka at yan, diabetes, kung ano-ano mo ako. So anyway, so some serious issues about that before we head to meet yung mga ministries and officials more on issues like national security, defense, maritime security, etc. Pero dito sa Winnipeg, I was much more focused on national economic security, particularly on food security and energy security. Of course, Canada is also an energy superpower. Napakaswerte talaga itong bansa natin. They have all of the elements. Except, of course, sobrang lamig dito pag winter. But with climate change, Arctic opening up, there could be a lot of possibilities here. So, thank you so much again dun sa mga kaibigan natin. We had very fantastic discussions kanina, including with a lot of Filipino academics here who are naging dean, naging, really senior scholars, very, very successful. So ako naman, my point always is, sana magkaroon ng more internal cohesion yung Filipino community so we can sorry, ito na. Magkaroon ng more internal cohesion para Filipino community as a whole can, serve as a kind of springboard for stronger relations, bilateral relations, and sana more sa ating mga kabayan ay get involved in entrepreneurship, bring back technology, investments to the Philippines, bringing investments to Canada, etc. So mga ganito mga pinag-usapan natin. Anyway, habang ginagawa natin lahat ng mga bagay na to and looking, into the grain industry here, mineral industry, energy industries, a lot of Winnipeg's energy comes from hydro energy, so very green, at least relative to the other parts of the country, particularly siguro Alberta. So a lot of interesting discussions, but habang lahat na yan nangyari, just ko, uh, siyempre, dito tayo sinasabi natin, Pilipinas, great place, amazing place, wonderful place, beautiful place to invest in, etc. But eto na naman talaga guys, grabe na talaga yung politika natin. Just as I warned that things can get out of control very fast, and you can see the anger building up very very fast guys online, and who knows, at some point things could move very dangerously offline, right? At speaking of things moving very dangerously offline, nakakatakot ding nangyari sa Nepal ngayon as we speak. I think a couple of houses were completely burned down. So unlike yung ginagawa sa atin na tinatapon lang ng I don't know, putik yung ano, yung mga gates ng mga contractor, whatever. Diyan talaga sinunog yung mga bahay. So, isa sa mga former first ladies, or actually, wife ng isang, I think, one of the ex-prime ministers of Nepal, uh, yeah, basically namatay dito sa mga attacks na yan. And but yung parliament nila sinunog. This is their main parliament. So like unlike in the case of Indonesia, I think the parliament that was set on fire was a regional parliament. Of course, it doesn't make it trivial. Of course, it's important. It's all of them are dangerous, violent, troubling actions. Pero ang sinasabi ko parati, guys, is that if people do not see hope in the system, they're gonna take things into their own hands. And particularly, nakikita natin with the younger generations, the Gen Z the student movement played a very, very important role in the overthrow of the Sheikh Hasina regime in Bangladesh last year. That was a very, very big, big, big political event in one of the biggest countries in Asia. And then just over the past few weeks, Indonesia na naman, isa sa mga pinakamalaking bansa sa mundo na naman, isa pa sa mga major Muslim democracies ay taken over by itong massive protest na yan. And then now in Nepal, not that Nepal has been, like I followed the politics in Nepal, the kind of Maoist, loyalist kind of tensions over time, and and of course Nepal's geopolitics with India, China, being squeezed in between lahat yan. But having said that, I'm still very shocked by how things got out of control very fast. And literally, people are burning down government buildings, burning down houses of the elite. People are going after all of these nepo kids, I don't know, nepo mistresses, nepo parents, whatever you want to call them. So again, uh, my point is that these are dangerous outcomes, and you want to avoid that. So how do you avoid that, guys? A, we have to push back against yung mga opportunista, right? There are many, many opportunist people there, grabe. Including ex-military people who are saying, baka naman, kailangan natin ng mga sundalo to do some of this, I don't know, flood control cleanup issue. Huwag kayo makinig sa mga ganyan na tao. Delikado po yan. We know from history, we know from our neighboring countries, Thailand, Myanmar, you can go on and on, Pakistan, Egypt, Turkey. Like, when you get military involved that's very dangerous. Never. And I'm all for the armed forces of the Philippines getting more budget, more benefits, etc. National defense. I care about external security, but don't get them involved. And one of the things I appreciate with the AFP during Duterte's time is that they expressly said, hindi kami sasama dyan sa mga war and drugs kalokohan ni Digong. So you want to insulate our armed forces. You want to keep them in the barracks and keep them focused on sa external security, which is basically yung sa nangyari sa West Philippines, among others, right? So keep away dun, make sure hindi tayo magpapadala sa mga ex-military, ex-whatever general na kung ano-anong pinagsasabi dyan. Because alam naman natin papunta yan sa military government, rev gov, yung mga ganyan kalokohan. Pangalawa, guys, as I said, hindi talaga gagana yung name and shame lang. Bakit ka mo? Napakawalang hiya, guys. Napakawalang hiya. Yung mga ibang nepo kids, yung mga ibang politiko. Right? Napakawalang hiya nila. Nakita niyo, kanina pinost ko nga yung isang alleged nepo kid. Diba? Sabi niya, sa inggit, mga ganun. Ganun sila, guys. So, hindi mag-work yung, name and shame lang. So we have to get beyond, guys. We have to really, really transcend all of this. I would say, that's basically second stage of grief lang na hanggang anger ang na. No, we have to go towards bargaining and negotiations. And bargaining for what? And this is where it really gets important. Bargaining for accountability. So dapat sisiguraduhin natin, guys, na may mapupuntahan ito. Hindi purong drama, hindi purong posturing, hindi purong performative. And this is where, guys, I think it's very important. Now we're seeing certain realignments. Now we can have a long conversation, guys, about Congress. But the fact of the matter is that yung quad hearing, TRICOM hearings, you have the input of very, very capable people, including Chel Jokno, including Leila de Lima. So you have very, very high quality progressive people. former senators, senatorial balls in the future, really, really top legal minds there in the TRICOM, Quadcom, really doing a good job. And I'm not gonna be dismissive towards what's happening in the Congress because, again, we can criticize the Congress for all of itong mga budget issues, blah blah blah. We can go on, and 100% go for it. I'm not stopping you. But what I'm saying is that at least in the Congress, you have this kind of exposure. I mean, hindi natin malalaman yung mga Miggy Mango na ginawa ni Sara if not for the Quadcom. Hindi natin malalaman yung mga kalokohan na ginawa ng mga Dutertes. Ngayon, isa sa mga Duterte cronies or lovers or whatever ay si Garma, di ba? Ay pwede nang maging testigo na, magtestigo dyan sa ICC. I mean, papunta na tayo sa exciting part in that sense, di ba? It's getting very, very serious and very, very important. I know it's getting so serious and important that yung mga kadidiyas natin nga tabad at nang ay nagre-react na. So, dito malalaman mo talaga guys na talagang things are moving there. So, in fairness, we can criticize the Congress, we can look at everything, whether it's the leadership, whether it's the allocations, etc. Go ahead, do that. But you know, it is also important to take into consideration what's happening. Now, speaking of what has been happening, taking into consideration what's happening, I mean, look at also the kind of witnesses and resource speakers na inimbita sa Kongreso. So not only is it comprehensive, meaning everyone is having a chance to contribute here. I mean, look at it. Look at yung interventions ni Vico Soto kahapon. Vico Soto was absolutely clear. Huwag tayong magpapaloko dito. And what was he reacting to? Right? He was reacting dun sa Bubble Gang Red Ribbon Committee kung ano nung kaiwanan yung ginagawa ng mga DDS senator the other day bago sila natanggal sa kanilang position. Like parang shortest living Red Ribbon Committee. So, guys, we're very lucky that we have a situation whereby at least there's this kind of openings, right? And again, I really encourage you guys to check yung interventions ni Vico Soto. And it's very interesting. Malalaman mo talaga something is going on here. Malalaman mo talaga dito na yung mga DDS ay walang kredibilidad pagdating sa fighting mga corruption ganun is because guys, grabe pala ina-attack si Vico, right? Ng mga DDS propagandists. Nakita ko yung mga grabe naman yung attack nila, di ba? Doon makita talaga na mukhang ano to, team Kadiskaya na Kadiskaya na ibang kaibigan natin diyan. 'Di ba? So, doon mo malalaman something is going on here. So, I'm very very glad na katulad ng sinabi ni Vico Soto na etong mga flood control projects, they could be just tip of the iceberg, right? It's something very dangerous and more could be going on. 'Di ba? Sabi nga niya, 'di ba? Yung flood control projects, 'di ba? If you look at yung mga interventions ni Vico Soto, yung flood control projects na yan, they're just part of a bigger parcel. And yung mga sinasabi nila 2 to 3% lang profit rate nila at minsan lugi pa sila. Kalokohan yan. Paano ka maging bilyonaryo if like, so that tells you guys gaano ka walang kwenta yung kunyaring Blue Ribbon Committee hearing na ginagawa ng mga, I mean, guys, would you get this kind of reactions from the Diskayas if hindi joke time, right? If hindi joke time, yung hearing na yan. Kung saan hirap na hirap, makikita mo hirap na hirap yung mga katulad nila Rafi Tulfo, sila Risa, na to get the right questioning in. And then the next thing you know, much of the drama is sila na lang nag-away. Diba? Sila na nag-away at tuloy nag-trending itong video na to. Hindi ko alam kung totoo yan. Nalit, mukhang totoo naman, pero hindi ka alam kung recent ka. Itong si Jinggoy, galit na galit
Sinira niya aking reputasyon. Maganda na yun. With all due respect.
Ito.
Niya yung aking sinira niya aking reputasyon. Maganda na yun. With all due respect.
Maganda na nga
ano? Sinira niya yung aking sinira niya aking
Hindi ko alam kung sinong...
Maganda na yun. Sinira niya aking reputasyon.
Yan ang sinasabi kong bubble gang. At ngayon, ang ating mahal na senador ay... sorry sa mga... walang kinalaman yung mga narcos music. It is unfair for me to dig into my past Tapos na yan, absuelto na ako sa lahat ng kaso. O, di ba? Absuelto na eh. Wait lang. Absuelto na ba? Di ba convicted dun sa isa? Sabi nga ni Jonathan Morales, hindi katulad ng buti ng senador, hindi tayo convicted. O, ayan. Ayan tuloy. Ayan tuloy, guys. Grabe talagang bubble gang. Bubble gang yan. So, literally, dahil sa sobrang bubble gang, yung Red Ribbon Committee hearing na yan, um, tuloy si Michael V ay talagang all in na si Michael V. Grabe talaga si Michael V. Ang tagal niya na sa industriya na nakakatawa talaga siya. Kung kuhain na talaga yung Diskaya. So, looking forward sa ito. Loko talaga yung si Michael V. Ito. Ayun naman ang internet dito.
Mic test, mic test.
Grabe, ang dami niyang content. Ang dami niyang content tuloy si Michael V.
Kuya Vito! Oh my gosh! Kuya Vito!
Grabe, ang dami niyang content. Grabe, for the, meron na bang meron na bang, sino yan? Sino yan? Sino yan? Ay, nako talaga. Ay, nako. Oy, ang ganda ng watch, ah. Ganda ng watch ni Bitoy. So, yon guys. Ayan na. Nagkaroon ng career.
Eddie, Eddie, oh wow! Eddie, ikaw!
Grabe na. Anyways, panoorin natin soon. Mukhang magkakaroon ng lifeline. Magkaroon ng second wind itong career ni Michael V dahil dito sa Diskaya. Kasi diba yung last time na sobrang ganyan na politically relevant is kay Ma'am Arroyo. And then wala na siya. Wala na yung panon ni Digong. Paano naman niya gayahin si Digong at saka si BBM, diba? Si BBM. So ngayon, I think this guy could make Michael V very relevant. Pasensya na lang kay Edu Manzano. Medyo nagmo-move on na kami sa Bitoy. Yung si Edu Manzano masyado na-enjoy yung kanyang mga contractor university brochure. Now, uh, so going back to this guys, grabe talagang bubble gum. Now, speaking of this, you can see how important the realignment also in the Senate is gonna be for big questions going forward. So, remember I said, kailangan natin ng accountability. But you're not gonna get accountability kung performative posturing, toxic partisanship, at saka mga joke time, bubble gang hearings lang mangyari. That's why it's very important that now sa Senate, basically you have a majority. Di sana hinintay na lang nila, di ba? Yun lang pala, hindi pala kailangan sumama kay Cheese Pie. But anyway, hindi ko na bubuhayin yung issue na yan. But alam mo na, kasi may mga nanghenyo na naman nagsabi lang. Anyway, to begin with kasi, bakit kasi sumama kay Cheese? But anyway, so the good news is, you know, at least a different person is in charge of the Red Ribbon Committee, and the Red Ribbon Committee ay hindi na siya Red Ribbon, magiging Blue Ribbon na siya. I was thinking, of course, of Senator Lacson, top of my mind, and we already discussed him. And so Senator Lacson is not only going to be the number 2 in the Senate, but he's also going to lead the Blue Ribbon Committee, and it looks like he's all in terms of exposing lahat ng mga kalokohan na yan. And in fairness to the guy, he has that kind of credibility. At the same time, of course, Kiko Pangilinan is back getting the Justice Committee, which again is very important kasi nga yung isa dati natin senator na very, very objective senator, judge, yung nag-lecture pa sa atin about objectivity, yan, natanggal na tuloy. Ngayon si Kiko, Bam will keep the education, di sana hinintay na lang niya. And then si Riza Ontiveros naman, she's also back in the saddle as the head of the health. She was one of the people in contention to also lead the Blue Ribbon Committee, but she's gonna keep that. So it's very interesting. And in the meantime, wala na. Tanggal na sa mga position, including si Rodante, dun sa mga key positions sa committee chairmanships. So hindi na si Marcoleta ang Blue Ribbon. Nevertheless, there was some effort by the Marcoleta people a while ago to still, I don't know, assert power or whatever dun sa issue ni Hernandez, yung si Boy AP. Ito yung mga talaga grabing Bulacan gang. Grabe yung Bulacan Gang, grabe yung mga contractors dun ah. So, kanina lang there was this back and forth about, about custody ng isa sa mga key witnesses. And Tito Soto very aggressively pushed back against, making them state witness. Like, especially the Discayas, there was an effort to make them state witness. Walang credibility itong mga tao na to eh. Exactly as katulad ng sinabi ni Vico, like, where are we even taking these people serious? Where are we even taking their word? Seriously, sabi nga, ang talagang sinungaling kapwa ng mananakaw, or pwede mo sabihin, mananakaw kapwa ng sinungaling. At kakaswahan din sila ni Congressman Roman and other people who have been, hindi ko na alam dun sa mga iba na um, dumami ata masyado yung kanilang mga lifestyle interviews. Social, hindi naman Saint-Tropez, pero medyo malapit doon yung iba. Anyway, ingat tayo baka mamaya. No, but I'm glad that the new Senate leadership has made sure na wala na itong mga kalokohan na nangyari. And here, good thing, Mayor Magalang's all-out support for Senator Lacson. Of course, they're good friends, and Mayor Magalang saying it's great that you have someone like Senator Lacson now to lead itong mga investigations na yan, to lead itong mga Blue Ribbon Committee hearings na yan, to make sure na tuloy-tuloy ang mga kailangan na gawin para hindi tayo magpapaloko sa mga nonsense at saka mga nagsisinungaling na mga supposed na gusto maging state, biglang naging biktima pa, di ba? Biglang biktima pa sila. Ito talagang kakaiba, di ba? Okay na sana yung reputation. No, but kidding aside, so I think certain things are aligning. So I'm really hoping, and the other thing I'm really watching for is yung JBC, yung mga final three na i-forward nila kay President BBM, and hopefully President BBM will choose the right person to be our next ombudsman, and I want to see big moves on the part of ombudsman, especially against these contractors. But no, the contractors made big money, so hindi sila small fish. But also dapat magkakalaman din dun sa mga politiko, lower house, upper house, Senate. May marami nagugulat, 'di ba? Nag-iingay, nagda-drama, 'di ba? Pero kung maniwala tayo dun sa mga ibang contractors na hindi Diskaya at hindi British accent like Diskaya, baka naman, 'di ba? And of course, siguro isa sa mga dahilan na nagkaroon ng Senate reshuffle in terms of leadership is also because medyo nag-shut up mode na lang yung isa. Dahil wala na-booking na talaga ang laki ng nakuha niyang contribution from contractor in clear violation of the law. No? So, tingnan natin on that front. So, I'm slightly more optimistic maybe than Sir Ronald Llamas, because I think if some momentum is injected here and there, baka eventually, even the issue of impeachment of Sara Duterte could be more seriously unarchived, right? Unarchived. In the meantime, tuloy-tuloy ang drama at budol time ng mga Duterte. So much so na pati ICC medyo nabudol ng konti na naman. Dinidelay na naman yung so I have to rebook everything, etc. Anyway, whatever. But at least makuha si Garma as a witness, and who knows, baka there'll be another warrant of arrest before we can talk about Tatay Digong. But in the meantime, drama sila kasi alam nila talong-talo sila sa legal case. Basically game over sila in terms of evidences and all of that. So nagdadrama na lang sila na pinapauwi si Tatay Digong and all of that, blah blah blah. So the other important thing is wag din tayo magpapaloko dun sa mga nagpapabiktima lang. Alright? At bago magsalita si Sara Duterte about Congress or whatever, tingnan natin kamusta naman ang alam niyo na, di ba? Sabi nga nila, start at home, right? Or closer to home, right? No problem. We can start there, right? And let's not forget, hindi absuelto, hindi lang yung isa, hindi siya absuelto, kahit sinasabi niya absuelto siya, may conviction na, hindi na absuelto si Sara doon sa mga impeachment articles, alright? So, some important developments could still be in the mix. On that note, thank you very much guys, maraming salamat. Again, ayaw natin ng gulo, ayaw natin ng violence, ayaw natin magpaloko, but ayaw din natin ng empty, partisan, posturing, and nonsense, and bubble gang, red ribbon hearing style of stuff, right? We really have to move forward, and we have to move fast. Heads should roll. There should be internal accounting sa DPWH, in the Congress, in the Senate. Some big things have to happen on different fronts. So on that note, thank you very much. Maraming salamat. God bless, and best of luck to sa ating lahat, sa ating bansa. Alright? God bless. Talk to you soon. Booyakasha.